Hey babe, welcome back. Thank you once again for joining us. Just remember, I have no medical background. I am not a psychologist. I'm just a girl who's lived life and happy to share her experiences. Enjoy.
I've been searching. I want to mingle.
Be married. Oh no. Hi babe. How are you doing? Welcome back.
Which babe?
All of you.
Me too.
And you too. I'm about to greet you.
Oh, okay.
Hi babe, welcome back. And as you saw from the title, today we're doing a story time. I'm about to tell a story. And I'm not going to tell the story by myself. I hate telling stories like to the air. So I've got my friend here, Charity. Charity said hi to the guys.
Hi.
So Charity listens to my stories all the time. And I mean
day.
all the time. Like I am constantly talking and she just kind of sits there and she's like, okay.
Must I say she's a good storyteller?
You're too kind. You're way too kind. So I woke up early in the morning. As I come to my house, listen to a story, let's record it, and you just better be interested. Even if
Act interested, Charity.
even if you've heard it like 1,000 times. All right, so let's get right into it. I've been thinking about the kind of story that I want to tell, and then I realized that I want to tell. So I asked for opinions on how to tell the stories, whether the people wanted fictional stories or they wanted real life personal stories. And I did get some feedback, and combining all that feedback, I just thought, okay, let me just tell a little bit of both. So I'll start off with a fictional story, and then I'll tell something that correlates from my own life. So
I like.
So in thinking about this whole thing, I started thinking about in fact, it just popped up, and it was a story that I wrote in 2019, about August, September 2019, and it was about a woman called Sipho. And I just, for some reason, this part of the story actually popped up because I then began to think, it would be interesting if I told my part of that kind of story. So we'll see what happens. Don't judge me. It happened. It's done. It's fine. I'm fine.
Can't wait to hear the story.
I'm fine. I'm okay, guys. I'm sane. I'm fine. So anyway, we start off in the story with a girl called Sipho. Sipho is literally a young lady who's in her early mid 30s, and we meet her in a hospital. And in that hospital, it's like 2 a.m. in the morning. She's received news that her husband was involved in a car crash, but he wasn't alone. He was like with the side and all. Yeah. So in this car crash, she doesn't know what the details are, and she's just waiting. She's pacing, and as she's pacing and worried and concerned and things like that, she hears a voice, and this voice says, "Hi, Sipho," and she turns around to realize it's an old friend. And this guy is really excited to see her because it's been a while, but he's also with somebody, which we later find out is his wife. And he wants to strike up conversation, but it's not really the right time. And then they're disturbed by the doctor. And it's not the place, guys, to say, "Hey, how you doing?" I mean, it's ICU, it's emergency. It's not the right place to be saying, "Hey, how you doing? Are you good? I have 5 kids." How have you been?
So she's in hospital because she's gotten a phone call that her husband is involved in a car crash.
I mean, even if happy has sight, you're still next of kin.
Of course. That is the
So
sad reality.
unfortunately, there she was trying to, do wifey things. And so, unfortunately, when the doctor comes in with the information, the doctor then announces that he's passed on. So she breaks down, and she breaks down in the presence of this guy. And as she breaks down in the presence of this guy, obviously he's then there to hold her up, and the whole enchilada, comforting her until he actually offers to take her back home. And they get home, and he's looking around, So this man has an issue. He knew this girl as a bright spark when they were growing up. Like, he knew her as the most amazing kind of... He actually attributes his success, he attributes his career to her. Because she was just one of those girls who was always organizing career days, what she was going to be somewhere. So he walks into her apartment and is like, how did she end up here? What kind? You know, this is not who she was supposed to be. But she is. And there's varying reasons to that I mentioned in the book, which are not relevant to today's story. But if I digress, it's normal. That's how I tell a story. I'll go.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I will go to Mozambique and come back, and then travel to Ukraine and be back, and still get to my point 2 hours later. So if I digress, like I'm doing right now, forgive me. So a month later, they're on the phone. We see them a month later, they're on the phone and they're talking, and he's talking to her about her plans. And she says, no, I'll go back to KZN. I'll get a job, maybe in a restaurant. I'll take care of the kids. He says, do you have money? He says, yeah, of course, I got some money from his payouts, but it won't last me too long if I stay in Gauteng. So I might as well go back to KZN, get the kids in school, and settle down and find a job in a restaurant. And he cannot get that. He cannot understand. He's like, restaurant where now? Waiter. And it's not like there's anything wrong with being a waiter or a waitress, right?
Yes,
but he knows her mind. He knows who she is. Then he says, okay, that's fine. I'll call you tomorrow. So the next thing we see them, obviously the call has taken place. And he says, listen, let's come to my office. So we see her in her office, in his office. And he begins to offer her a position. He says, I was going to start a company anyway. And this company, needs a PA or secretary or whatever. Can you come through? Would you mind? And he says, yeah, no, I don't mind. I mean, and he's like, okay. And then he offers her a salary that doesn't make sense. It's like way too much. But he's really trying to entice her back into corporate, back into, you know, the lifestyle that he thinks she deserves. So she accepts the job and starts working. But you have to understand that this woman hasn't worked in like 8 or 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And she has there's reasons. I outlined them in the story. And she is it's hard.
It's all new.
It's so hard. Like, you know how corporate changes over the years?
It does.
There's lingo she is not aware of. There is technology. She even finds it hard. She spent an entire hour trying to print a document.
Wow.
Not even know, like, it was like, bruh, I think this is hard. You know, and she's really, really finding it hard. And he can see. But for some reason, in that season, he is called to be this understanding person. It's almost as though he's not really the boss. He's actually the helper. And, I forgot to mention, the title of the book is called Walk With Me. Yeah. You see? Help me find me again. That's the title of the book. Walk With Me, Help Me Find Me Again. Maybe when it's published it will have a different name, but you'll know the back of the story. Excuse me. So he says he's watching. He just keeps pushing her bit by bit. I mean, yes, he wanted to start this company, but it wasn't like emergency. So this is kind of like helping him along as well. And with time, she begins to open up. So we see her 3 months later into the job, coming to him with a file and giving him options and saying, listen, if you're going to present it this way, you only have 4 ways in which you can do this. And when you do this, this is the only way that it could work. And she's so confident in her analysis that he looks at her and is like, she's like, you know, she's coming out, coming out of her shell. And then he says to her, oh, okay, cool, so you'll present it. And she's like, huh?
Wow.
What? No.
I would have been wow.
Never. Jesus.
Not happening.
You know, no. So she finds every excuse while she's standing there. And the truth is, what happens to her mind is it literally shuts down. At that moment, Fear takes over. It creeps in. It shuts her down. Like completely, Charity. Like completely. I mean, she stops thinking. She freezes. She is stuck. In fact, it's not even that it freezes. It goes ahead of her. She starts thinking about everything that could go wrong. The pessimist in her comes out and says, oh my gosh, what if you can't talk properly? What if you pronounce words wrongly? What if you can't say? What if you can't remember? What if you can't, and it's all this information that is telling her she's going to fail completely. All right, Sipho.
Sure.
So they go home nicely, end of day. Next morning, he's driving to work. He decides, let me call this person, the way she was acting last night.
Yeah.
And when he calls her, she is sick, like literally. Hello. No, I'm not feeling well. I'm not coming. Like and she's not even pretending. And she's not even pretending. Like she is so sick. And he's like, okay, maybe let me go to her place. Instead of just letting it go. He decides to go to her house, gets to her house, finds her literally in bed with the covers over her. She's literally hiding from life. Like nobody would understand the paralysis that she's facing at that time. She is paralyzed.
Wow.
Life has paralyzed her from fear. She's sick. Her eyes are puffy. She's grown dark rings overnight. In a few hours, her body looks like it's naturally collapsed. He decides, you know what? I'm not going to have this. Seriously, it's just like, I'm not having this. He just carries on, goes to the bathroom, puts water in, comes in, picks her up, takes her to the bathroom, says, I can even undress you and bath you if you need it.
Wow.
Are you going to handle this? I'm just like, handle this. And then, she gets in. When she comes out, she's like, why are you doing this to me? I told you I'm not
so brutal, though.
Yeah, it seems brutal, but for some reason, it's what she needs. So he, they're done. He gives her, I think, some medication, tells her, listen, let's go. And they go, they do the presentation. She does the presentation. And it starts off horribly because she's nervous. And as she goes on, she kind of picks up. And by the time she's done, everybody's kind of nodding their heads like, yeah, we get you. We hear you. We're done. And then Jason, at the end, says, so, what was the issue?
Did you die?
Did you die? Exactly. Did you die?
Oh, shame,
but immediately she has changed. The girl who was dying in the morning is fine now.
Is alive.
Yeah, she's fine now. And it's only because she had that little push. And fear is real. And it was only fear, her mind, that dragged her down into that position. Now, some people may be saying that's a little bit too dramatic, but I've lived that in my life. Literally lived that.
I think a lot of us have.
Yeah, where you are in so much fear that it literally shuts you down. Literally, not just your mind, but shuts you down physically, shuts you down spiritually. You can't talk, you can't breathe, you have panic attacks. So one time, this is now me. This is not Tim. It's no longer Sipho. It's not Tim. So one time I'm sitting in this office. It had been a whole year. It's a number of years ago. It had been a whole year of confusion, a whole year of pain, a whole year of feeling like a failure. And we're sitting in this office with my boss and a couple of other ladies. And we're working on something. I can't even remember what we were working on. That's how out of it I was. And I'm sitting there and my boss is saying something and she's unhappy with me. And remember, I'm filled with fear. Things had fallen apart so much that I was fearful about life, fearful about being a wife, fearful about being a mother, fearful about the future. I was just filled with fear. And I'm so fearful I've been pressed for a couple of hours, I guess. But I'm afraid to excuse myself. And we're working, and my boss is getting more impatient with me because I'm failing to do this one thing that I'm supposed to be doing. I don't even remember what it was. It was probably something I had always been extremely good at and suddenly just couldn't get done.
It's not happening.
So my boss is impatient with me, and working with women can be very
Yes.
traumatizing because women, they will kind of make snide comments, snide looks. So I can see the glares that are being passed around because people have been talking as well. Okay, sharp. There we go. It's now bad. So I stand up abruptly, don't even excuse myself, and I walk out. And I walk out to, mind you, my boss's office had a bathroom, but I was afraid to even ask to use it. And I walk out and go to the bathroom we were supposed to use. And I get to the bathroom and there's someone. And I'm even afraid to say to the person, hi, it's an emergency. And I walk back into the courtyard, into the space in front of my boss's office. And when I get there, I just stand. Glitch. Glitch much. So I was saying, I guess, oh no, I can't do that. Right.
Was it there all the...
Yeah, it was.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Yo.
Right. So, please. So anyway, we were in the courtyard.
Courtyard was sent for you.
Yeah. So this lady, I guess, was sent for me. I guess I'd taken, too long, and somewhere between her coming to me and me just standing there, I literally let go of myself. Literally, as an adult mother of 3, everything just went away. It just went. Yeah. The worst thing about it, the worst thing is that when this lady came out and she looked at me and she saw what happened, she started laughing.
Oh no.
This packed on top of fear. Had she handled it differently, I probably would have survived a number of things that. But she laughed.
Wow.
And I won't lie, I was just so broken. I was just
I can imagine.
And maybe that's one of the reasons why iWrite Walk With Me. Because at that point, I didn't need poking. I needed someone to hold my hand.
Yes.
And I remember after that, I think Shiku then called my ex, and he came and he helped me to get home and all of that. But this is not even the story about how a grown woman can mess herself up. This is a story about how fear can literally paralyze you. The Bible talks about how we've not been given the spirit of fear, but that of power, of love, and of a sound mind. Once fear comes in, you lose your power. Power to control yourself, power over your situations, power over your mind. That's why Sipho crumbled. Fear came in and just caused her to crumble. Fear came in and caused me to shut down, to get confused. Power, you lose your power over love. Not love for everybody else, love for yourself.
Yeah, true.
And once you lose love for yourself, who fights for you outside of you?
Nobody else.
Nobody.
You need to fight for yourself.
Exactly. And fear will make you lose your mind. When it comes to depression, anxiety, when it comes to psychological issues, find the root. You'll find that mostly there was an element of fear. Someone was afraid of something. And it began to tear down their mind. That's what happened to me. That's what happened to Sipho. The difference is Sipho had someone holding her hand and pushing her. And I had...
Wow. Oh my gosh, Timby.
But I write some things and I really wanted to read these things out because they fascinate me. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm the one who wrote them. Yeah, Timby manje.
Why you own one, darling?
Oh my goodness. So in this
So
chapter,
how did you get out of it, Tim?
That's another story
Oh,
for another
God.
day. Very long. Like if I started talking, we'd be talking for 10 years.
Yes,
Literally.
I can sit here. I'll get the popcorn.
Please, babe. So I write these things and I just want to read them out. And these are in that chapter. It says, fear will always paralyze and subdue an otherwise capable human being. So a person will actually be capable. They will know what they're doing. They will know how to handle situations. But because fear comes in, suddenly they can't. It literally undoes you. It literally puts you in a position where awukhoni lutho, awazi lutho, awenzi lutho. I also say panic is the result of overthinking situations you have no control over. You can't do anything about it, but you're overthinking.
Do not worry.
Do not be anxious over anything, but in everything, in prayer and supplication, giving thanks unto God. Ask God, and the peace of God that surpasses understanding will guard your heart and your mind. The same thing fear tears down. Peace will guard. Ne? What else did I write here? Escape is the default setting for fear of confrontation. A person will run and hide without knowing the size of the challenge, just because they heard the word challenge.
Oh, wow, that's deep.
It's like, challenge.
I need to have typical.
Do some typical. Guys,
Yeah.
sometimes.
No, you're deep.
So people will run and hide. Fear will just, you'll hear the word challenge and you'll be like, oh my gosh, and panic and run and hide. And it's just fear. It's just fear engulfing you and you have no idea why.
Yeah.
Literally, you have no idea why. Yes, so life. Then I write, when the brain is convinced of the reality of a situation, it will force the rest of the body to act accordingly. Psychological illnesses are real but treatable by the injection of brand new information into the same skewed mind. So you receive information that tears you down.
Yes.
The only way you can get out of it is to receive information that brings you up.
Yes.
Exactly. But sometimes I guess as people who are around people who are falling apart, we don't know how to inject the right information. Maybe we're judgmental.
Very judgmental.
Exactly. Maybe we push in a way that we think.
Get up
maybe
and go.
Maybe we don't even try to say what would work for this one.
No, we don't want to understand.
We don't. No. We want a one size fits all like it. We want to say, yeah, but I did this. So why can't you
do this?
You know, why can't you get up and
dust
go?
yourself?
Just do it.
Get
just
on.
You know, but a person's mindset is so different. The things that have come in, the things that have convinced them of the reality that they're in at that point, maybe try and understand so that you can help them to get out.
Yeah.
Certainly don't laugh at them. I can guarantee I never fought with that person. We never had a fight. If she listens to this, she'll know exactly who she is. We still talk, but I put a distance. Because she hurt me at a level that was absolutely... There's no coming back from it.
No, you can't, you know. You can't come
and
back
then
from
I
that.
also write, being there for a broken-spirited human being takes doing things that are out of the ordinary. Break their mold by breaking protocol. It's the only language they may actually understand. It grabs their attention. So someone said to me not recently, like in the years past, they said to me, after years of me being in a certain box, broken, you know, I guess they were, in fact, the reason I say unconventional, the reason I say break protocol, this person and I were not having a nice conversation. It was not a nice conversation. We were not having a happy conversation. But they then said something to me. They said, yeah, the thing with you is you are free-spirited. You're such a free spirit and what. So it was supposed to come out as an insult.
Oh.
And yet, after a few hours of thinking about it, I was like, Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
forgotten that I am a free spirit. Oh my gosh, what happened to that free spirit?
Yeah.
Because for a long time I was in this mold and I needed someone to break it. And even if they felt like they were fighting me, they were actually breaking a mold I needed to come. Because then I woke up, I was like, actually, yeah. Guys, I used to be like a social butterfly. What happened to me? What happened to Bright Spark Tendi? You know, kind of thing. And you will need to do unconventional things.
Yeah.
Maybe ask for wisdom from the Lord. He says, if any man lacks wisdom, let him ask of the Father who gives liberally. If you see someone is broken, is hurting, they don't know what, find out from God, what do I need to do to get to them so that they get out of that? And I'll read the last one, which says, always sow seeds of kindness and goodness. They'll produce fruit for you at the most unexpected time when you need it the most. When Sipho was doing whatever she was doing in high school, she had no idea that she would need Jason years from there. When I was doing whatever I was doing, wherever I was doing, I had no idea that a charity would come into my life and listen to me and hear me cry and watch. You know, Charity will allow me, she'll be on the phone with her dude. And dude, better watch this part.
Shout out.
Shout out to that guy. And she'll be on the phone with her dude, and I'll be having like a panic, anxiety attack or an anger moment or an outburst where I need to say something. And I'll walk to her house and I'll knock and she'll open the door and she's on the phone. At that point, I can't see nothing. And I start talking. I don't understand this and this. How can you? And she will just stand there and she'll be like, Aish, Tembi, yo. And even the dude will just be quiet there, like nothing is happening. But you know, I want to believe that the years that I spent giving out of, you know, sacrifice, pain, heartache, have been returned in the form of this girl that I knew for a year and a half and didn't speak to.
You know,
and then
she was snobby, guys. Oh my gosh, such a snob.
She says I was a snob, but I wasn't. I'm not a snob.
Snob.
I'm not a snob. Knew for a year and a half and didn't speak to. And then suddenly when I spoke to her, it was like, we are kindred spirits.
You know?
We've been, guys. We've been.
It's amazing. I needed her too.
You did? For what?
Yeah. Some sugar, bro.
Some sugar. But, you know, all in all, guys, life has its ups and downs. Things happen. Ish happens, as, you know, they say out there. Christians don't kill me. Ish happens. It does. It really does. Like a lot of it. Sometimes it's smelly. It's bad. It's
really
harsh.
nasty.
It's nasty, bruh. It's like it's not happening. But everyone can get out of, you know, the situations that they're in. Sometimes, yes, they can do it alone. They can crawl out alone.
Better with somebody.
But it's always better with someone helping. The Bible says 1 can put 1,000 to flight and 2, 10,000. So if you see someone who needs help, don't laugh at them. Please don't laugh at them.
No, laughing is not.
You'd rather walk away if you don't know what to say. But what would be better is if you could take their hand and walk with them. So I don't know when that book will be released.
Soon I hope. It will help a lot of people out there.
Yeah, but the problem is I was writing for me, ne?
No, but so it's not only you. I mean, it also resonates with me, and it does. It does.
All right, Jesus, Lord, help us. Yes. So I don't know when the book will be out, but at some point it will be out, and so I don't know when the book will be out. So I don't know when the book will be out, but at some point it will be out, and when it is, there's so many other elements to her struggle, her pain, so many other chapters to the things that she has to face as a mother, as a widow, as a friend, as a daughter, that I think are important to people's lives, are important to people's growth. So I'll let you know as soon as it's out, and yeah, enjoy it. Thank you for joining us for our very first story time. Tell us what you think, tell us what you feel, tell us if we made sense, if we didn't. Tell us if you want it longer, shorter. Tell us if you want us wiser. Tell us if you want us dropping knowledge, like, you know, like we are Einstein and so and what and dun. Yeah? But love you so much, babe. Be encouraged. Have a great week, and yeah, hope to see you next time with Charity again. She must come back.
I will definitely come back.
I must wake her up at 6 in the morning again on a Sunday. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. God bless you. Love you.
God bless you.
Bye. Yo, thank you so much for sticking it out. This was longer than I'm used to, but thank you so much for staying. Please remember to subscribe. Remember to press the like button, the notification button, the share button. Remember to comment, please. We love and we value your feedback. See you on the next episode, babe. Love you so much, and God bless you.
It's easy now. It's 6 o'clock.
Now.
My fellow YouTuber.
All right. Father, thank you. Thank you for calling. Thank you for able to do it in struggle. Very little editing to do, because I only have a few hours left. Thank you, Father. I'm going to open my mouth and fill it. Jesus, man. Speak to whoever you want to speak to.
What if the people will say the steam thing? But they will if it's cold, man.